This segment is sponsored by New Perspective Financial Solutions. Millions of federal employees have spent decades contributing to their FERS, pension, and TSP, but many of them are making costly mistakes along the way, and oftentimes they don't even realize it. So, what do you need to know before you retire from government service? Here to give us some tips is Rick Hoskins. Rick is a financial advisor and licensed federal retirement consultant with New Perspective Financial Solutions, a DC-based firm that focuses on preparing people for retirement. Rick, welcome back. Great to see you.
Thank you. Always glad to be here.
And we're always glad to hear what you have to say. It's important information, really helpful. So we want to know, what is the single most expensive mistake that you see federal employees making with their TSP?
I think the first thing is that a lot of people don't understand how it works. So the TSP, every time you make a contribution, and most people get paid bi-weekly, all of those funds are going into the TSP pre-tax. So when you start taking those funds out in retirement, that's going to be taxed as ordinary income. So then you go and add your pension on top of that, Social Security, you could end up paying more in taxes than when you actually were working. And that can absolutely be avoided if you have a plan in place, especially prior to retirement.
Wow. Okay. How much can this actually cost them in like a 20, 30-year time span?
It could be hundreds of thousands of dollars, $200,000.
That's significant.
Yes,
okay.
It's significant.
So something we need to not have happen.
Absolutely.
Okay. Many federal employees have been in the G Fund for years. They're thinking they're on the right track, but is it really positioning them well?
I would say it's a two-sided coin, I would say. So the first thing is that most people put money into the G Fund because they know it's safe, and it is. The G Fund has historically returned around 2 to 3%, but if we look at the increasing cost of inflation, the cost of living, that 2 to 3% won't cut it, especially if inflation is at 3 to 4%. So we need to look at other investments that can still provide safety, but also get you some growth as well. I had a client that I met with, and she had been putting funds into the G Fund for 15 years, but was concerned that the account wasn't growing.
Right.
So that's why we sit down with clients, we look at your investments, and we help you plot out what is the best risk tolerance for you.
Yeah, so it's not enough to just set it and forget it really anymore.
No.
You really need to adjust.
Things cost too much nowadays,
Yeah.
and we all feel it, and especially once you're in retirement.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, let's talk about the FERS again, the pension, Social Security, and TSP. How should people be thinking about coordinating all three of these?
So I like to look at it like a three-legged stool, and then your first leg on that stool is going to be your pension, because it's your foundation. It starts the moment you retire, and then it lasts throughout the rest of your life. The second part of that stool is going to be Social Security. Now, this is where most people make their mistake, because they either choose to take Social Security too early or they choose to take it too late. The third piece is going to be your TSP. Now, the TSP, its primary job is to fill the gap between what that pension and the Social Security doesn't cover, and then it also grows to help you keep up with inflation.
Okay.
So we definitely want to map those out to make sure that all three of these are working together and not limiting each other, and especially when it comes to preparing for taxes.
Yeah, so if you're not doing that now and you hear this, you got to go talk to someone.
Absolutely.
Got to go talk to someone. All right, what about for federal employees' survivor benefit? What happens if they make the wrong election at that time?
So this is a conversation that really keeps me up at night when it comes to my clients, because the way that it works is that once you retire, you're going to get the option to be able to take your full pension. That's going to be about 100%. Now, that sounds like a great benefit, especially when you're in retirement. But the issue is that if you pass away, and say you pass away the next year, your spouse will not get a penny of it, and they can find themselves down around 50% of their income. I've met with clients who didn't know that their spouse chose this option, and then now they're trying to figure out, how do we make the difference up to provide that income that's still needed for the surviving spouse? So it's really a big thing. I think a lot of people need to really have that conversation with their spouse and their financial advisor before retirement, because once you retire, it is very, very difficult to make any type of change.
Good to know. All right, as we wrap up here, Rick, what is one thing pre-retirees, they're looking to retire 5-10 years from now, what is the one thing they should be doing right now?
Absolutely. So I say the first piece is to reach out to OPM and get an estimate on what your first pension is. We really want to understand what your income is actually going to look like. The second big piece is go to SSA.gov and pull your Social Security statement, because we want to know what your Social Security is going to pay out between 62 and 70. The last big piece, and this is probably one of the biggest, is that you want to also look at your TSP allocations, because if you've been contributing to that C fund the last 10, 15 years, we want to make sure that that risk is not too heavy when you're entering that 3, 5, 10 years heading into retirement.
All right.
And most importantly, I would say you need to have a financial advisor that understands federal benefits and not just a general advisor. And that's what we work with our clients every day on doing.
Absolutely. You can't figure this out on your own. Rick, thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Of course. For you at home, if you are a federal employee or retiree and want to make sure you're on the right track for retirement, New Perspective Financial Solutions has an offer for you. Rick wants to help preserve and continue to grow your money while also helping you create a reliable income stream. So right now, for the first 5 callers and anyone else with investable assets of $500,000 or more, he's offering a complimentary federal retirement income plan. This will allow Rick's team to sit down with you personally or schedule a call to make sure you're on the right track for retirement. The number to dial is 240-335-8366. Again, that's 240-335-8366.